No one instinctively knows how to be a pastor. While it is true that a person may clearly exhibit certain characteristics and traits associated with a pastor, characteristics and traits a pastor does not make. In fact, a calling does not necessarily mean you know how to do what you're called to do. Like any vocation, the role of pastor is one that is informed by time, location, congregation, culture, and the person answering the call. These observations and opinions are informed by the letters of Paul, where we see a church leader instructing other leaders in their pastoral vocation. And so we come to the question, how do you pastor? And perhaps the more urgent question, how do you be a pastor? Let's look at the text, Stan Toller's Practical Guide to Pastoral Ministry. The book is divided into 6 parts consisting of 75 chapters. Rather than going chapter by chapter, we will be looking at the overarching theme, principles, and lessons prescribed in each section's chapters. Part 1. Personal growth, chapters 1 through 14. These chapters focus on the importance of a pastor's private life by recognizing and acknowledging the spiritual, emotional, and relational needs of the pastor. These chapters will be focusing on the character and characteristics of a pastor, how to have joy in every circumstance, the importance of personal and private holiness, as well as caring for your mental and physical health, as well as discussing job expectations and requirements. Part 2. Family life, chapters 15 through 23. A pastor who neglects his family is not really being a pastor. A pastor needs to be an example to the congregation, an example of faith, the Christian life, biblical practices, but above all, the pastor shows the congregation the importance and the necessity of creating and preserving a healthy family life. These chapters explore the differences between a house and the home, how to maintain a healthy family and healthy ministry, while also exploring the challenges of balance and time management. Part 3. Ministry, chapters 24 through 39. These chapters focus on life in the office, exploring the various duties and function of the minister. Topics included are influence, visitors, dealing with members who leave, relationship with the worship team, hospital visits, staffing and volunteers, and other various subjects which make up the bulk of the pastor's day-to-day personal responsibilities. Part 4. Leadership, chapters 40 through 55. It goes without saying that leadership and pastoring go hand in hand. So we ask these certain questions. What does it mean to be the leadership of a church? To lead other ministers, to train other leaders and to deploy them, creating teams and departments, and dealing with risk versus reward, and how do we navigate the church into uncharted waters? Part 5. Coaching, chapters 56 through 65. While leadership and administrative responsibilities are the most obvious of the vocational tasks of the pastor, one important area that doesn't always receive enough attention is how the pastor acts as a coach. This coaching would include how to get others on board, mentoring and encouraging others, defining and measuring success, all the while inspiring your church to dream and follow the visions and plans the pastor has laid out for the church. Part 6. Communication, chapters 66 through 75. The previous course was over the homiletical handbook, which, if you recall, covered the importance of planning and structuring a sermon. These final chapters emphasize what has been covered in that previous video, while also adding helpful insight on how to talk about such delicate subjects like money, politics, and sex, while employing story and humor into the message. The last sections of communication help better prepare you also for board meetings. After reading and studying this book, you should be able to do the following. Identify and recognize healthy practices and lifestyle choices of a pastor. Analyze and assess areas of weakness and strength in the administration and competency of the pastor. Anticipate and prepare for time management difficulties and issues. Manage and oversee the various teams, ministries, and departments within a church. This book was selected by the IPHC and NHM Schools of Ministry for the following reasons. Stan Toller's practical insights and ethically sound teaching come from many years of experience. There is perhaps no better instructor on the joys and difficulties of being a vocational pastor. The majority of the chapters are short and cut straight to the point, leaving behind flowery language. The principles and wisdoms are memorable, repeatable, and applicable. In addition to the Practical Guide for Pastoral Ministry workbook, you have an additional assignment. Write at least a one-page essay in Times New Roman, double-spaced at 12-point font on the following topic. Of the 5 areas covered in the text, which area will demand more of your attention and intentional care to maintain a healthy balance between the 5? This has been course MCP 2.07 in the Ordination Level 1 Credentialing Series. Upon watching this course, please read the assigned text, complete the workbook, and type your essay. Please print the essay and place it in the back of your workbook.